answers come when your thoughts are calm and you're searching for the truth. Do what your heart says. And when the ones you trust to be fair and just turn on you, and you're all alone in the great unknown, and you don't know what you should do, find your heart of hearts overflowing with knowing and play. If you get that far, just keep going, remembering this. Do what your heart says you should do. It's the most precious part of you. That's where the answers come when your thoughts are calm and you're searching for the truth. Do what your heart says. It tells you who you're meant to be and gives you the strength to believe. Don't settle for less than your dreams. Do what your heart says you should do. It's the most precious part of you. That's where the answers come when your thoughts are calm and you're searching for the truth. Do what your heart says. Do what your heart says. There's a treasure map hidden in the depth of your soul. If you find that map and you take that path, it will lead you to the golden heart of hearts, overflowing with knowing and bliss. If you get that far, just keep going, remembering this. Do what your heart says you should do. It's the most precious part of you. That's where the answers come when your thoughts are calm and you're searching for the truth. Do what your heart says.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Center for Spiritual Living here in beautiful St. George. We're feeling a little bit of cool air. The fall is coming, I think. So no more high, hot digits anymore. So anyway, we are an open, loving, and inclusive community that supports thinking creatively and living a deeply spiritual life. So I want to tell you a little bit about who's here today. My name is Gwen Hadley. I'm hosting this morning. I'm a member of the Core Council. We have some live, wonderful music for you today from Alan Stanley. Mary Klein, our practitioner, will be doing the invocation and also our sacred reading. And then we have a special treat. Eliza Christopher has spoken to us before as a practitioner. He started with us way back when, and I am so delighted to say that he is a brand new Reverend. He's going to speak to us for the very, very first time. He's not spoken as a minister before, so we are just delighted to have him. So, Alan, take it away. I believe what I pray.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Gwen. I was picked this song a couple days ago for this service today, and it's called "Believe." Preview subject today's message, and I ran across a quote from Jesus of Nazareth, and he said, "It is done unto you as you believe." So I think I might have picked the right song. I can feel the warming sun. I can see the lovely sky. I can hear the happy birds as they play. I walk my path in faith and know that it's another perfect day. For deep inside, I believe what I pray. I can feel before I go, because I already know that deep inside I believe what I pray. I know no fear where I may go. I have no doubts, my life is whole. I feel the love of Spirit flowing through my soul. My heart is full, my mind is clear, my life is blessed, all this I know. For deep inside, I believe what I pray. I'd like to bring Mary Klein, a practitioner, in to share the invocation.
Good morning. Alan, thank you. That's a beautiful way to begin the setting for our invocation. If everyone's comfortable, I would recommend that one put feet flat on the ground and close your eyes and just absorb. There exists a universal power, a fundamental principle of harmony governing all things to which I can access. An awesome intelligence that runs this astonishing universe with me as a co-creator. I am a magnificent magnet with the power to attract everything that I desire, according to the thoughts, feelings, and mental pictures I constantly integrate and radiate. I am the center of my universe. I have the power to create whatever I mentally choose and accept. And I begin choosing and mentally accepting the highest and best in life. I now choose unwavering faith for myself and for all mankind. I know this for me and for everyone participating in today's gathering. I now know all things are rooted in faith. We have faith that the sun will rise. We have faith that the air we breathe will bring oxygen to our cells. and retain life in our earthly bodies. We have faith that food that we eat will nourish us physically. Faith led Moses to the promised land, Columbus to the New World, and Pasteur to the microbe. Faith is the single most important tool for man's existence in this realm. I equate faith to the word knowing, that I understand it to be in science of mind practice. Faith is trust and perseverance in a belief. Faith knows something without evidence. James stated in the Bible, and the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Lord shall raise him again. Ernest Holmes stated in Living the Science of Mind, faith has no opposites. It is an uncompromising mental attitude, and this is exactly what the prayer of faith is. It is a prayer, a petition. Faith is used to rise above negative circumstances and never fall victim to what goes on around us. Faith means refusing to be trapped into believing the cause once set in motion must inevitably manifest itself in the physical world. We do not deny negative circumstances. We simply have faith in what we believe and refuse to accept negative circumstances as final. Ernest Holmes stated, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This is the proper use of faith. I am profoundly grateful for this truth and for the perfectly expressed patience, love, peace, compassion, and faith for myself and for others. I feel deep gratitude that this creative word now moves forth into the highest and best manifestations for us. I release this word into law with trust, peace, and complete faith, and know that truth within me will always win. I let it be, and so it is.
So it is. I have known no fear where I may go. I have no doubts, my life is whole. I feel the love of spirit flowing through my soul. My heart is full, my mind is clear, my life is blessed, all this I know. For deep inside, I believe what I pray. It works for me, it'll work for you. There's just one thing that you must do, is deep inside, believe what you pray. It works for me, it'll work for you. There's just one thing that we must do, is deep inside, believe what we pray. Deep inside, believe what we pray. Now back to Mary.
Thank you, Alan. That was, again, very beautiful. I will be reading the Sacred Covenant. It's a document of prayer that the team and the leadership team and the search team has developed as we search for a new minister. There'll be a portion there where I will pause for us to put our own personal truth in there. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life, I know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which include the presence of a new minister from my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to express God, I therefore know that my new minister reveals wholeness. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which we believe, for it is written. Let us learn to draw the divine substance down into our own lives, and as freely as it has been given to us, let us give it to others. Thus alone shall we be made whole. From Ernest Home. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister revealed before me as growing the center in joy and prosperity. I now intend to express my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing the truth about myself. For I live the presence and the law of God. I demonstrate wisdom through a mature understanding of the wholeness of life. I am accountable and willing to take full responsibility for my actions. I participate in and support the nurturance and guidance of the community. I act from wholeness and congruence in thought, word, and action. I walk the walk. I walk the talk. I embrace. This is the time to think of your own personal truth here for a moment. I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, knowing that they are revealed in a way that expresses God and serves the highest and greatest good for all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful, and so it is. Amen.
So our theme has been facing fear all through September. So this week's focus is skepticism, doubt, and faith. Oh my! So I'm interested to see what Reverend Elisha does with that. But before we do that, we're going to have Alan Stanley sing us another song. Alan?
Thank you, Gwen. This song, well, the subject today got some of my attention, but I got to thinking that for a long time, this song has helped me deal with these things that we're going to talk about today. Here's kind of a story of the path I took and I am taking. I studied with the best of teachers from winter till fall. Listen to the greatest speakers in the finest of halls. But until I found the silence, I had nothing to show. Because there's more in a quiet moment than I could ever know. I traveled to the farthest corners of this world alone, pondered all the great religions that mankind has known. But until I found the silence, I continued to roam. There's so much in a quiet moment. Just be still and go. There's a place in everybody. Just be still and go. And you'll find in that quiet moment all you wanted to know. In the silence of our soul is waiting, a voice still and small. In a garden full of joy and loving, God made for us all. From the heart our spirit's calling, showing us the way home. There's so much in a quiet moment. Just be still and know. There's a place in everybody. Just be still and go. And you'll find in that quiet moment all you've wanted to know. There's so much in a quiet moment. Just be still and know.
Thank you, Alan. I love that. So if you just joined me, I want to mention again that we are so grateful to have Elijah Christopher. He started his journey with us, Science of Mind in Center for Spiritual Living in St. George, and started his journey through prac school. And he just graduated as a brand new minister. He hasn't spoken anywhere else, and now he's back with us to speak for the very first time. So welcome, Reverend Elisha Christopher.
Thank you and good morning. I'm so grateful to be back with you guys again. I was actually in St. George much of just over a week ago, and I actually did my ministerial panels in St. George at Chris's house, and so I got to be in the essence of St. George, which I really, really appreciated. So here I am with you again. Let's begin as always by taking a few breaths together. So if you will, exhale first and take a deep breath in. And let go. And take another deep breath in. And let go. And together we take one more deep breath in. And we let go. And so this month our topic is facing the fear. And we're going to continue this topic today with what I'm going to continue as facing the fear, the skepticism and doubt, and faith. Oh my. And we're going to talk through that statement. Facing the fear, skepticism and doubt, and faith. Oh my. You know, I really believe that one of the most powerful tools that we have available to us is our intuition, is the divine mind that moves through us in every moment. That we have the power of the consciousness of the universe coursing through each one of us. This is a basic tenet of what we believe in Science of Mind. And with that, I really believe that it is important for us to lean into the power of the mind. You know, ever since I was a small child, one of the first questions, and one of the only questions that I've continued to ask every day of my life, is why. I always want to know why. When I was a kid, it's why is the sky blue? Why is the grass green? Why is this? Why is that? And as I've gotten older, and as I have grown and evolved as a human being and become a student of the science of mind, that question of why has really become a deep spiritual practice. To analyze, to look deeply, to ponder, to wonder about the roots of things, the causes of things. Because what Science of Mind teaches us is that everything is about cause and effect. And so anytime we see an effect in the world, anytime we see that which is unfolding in our lives and we want to wonder how that happened, we just have to look for the cause. We just have to ask why. And it's that ability to question that I actually think we need to lean into a lot more, especially in the days that we are moving into and in the world that we are existing in. Because The mind of a skeptic, or the power to be skeptical, I think is incredibly important when we recognize that whatever we focus on, whatever we look at, we're going to get more of. Whatever we pour our attention into, we are helping create. And we live in this world of obscured truths and fake news, as the media calls it, and all sorts of, we see our leadership and our politics. We see so much happening in this country that is so divisive and so skewed, and there are so many opinions being portrayed as facts, being portrayed as reality. There is so much double talk and sort of canceling out of truths happening all over the place. And if we're actually to choose and step into and participate in a reality that works, we have to learn to be skeptical of what we're hearing. We have to learn to be skeptical even of what we are believing. I've often heard, don't believe everything that you think. And I'm going to say, don't believe everything that you feel. Don't believe every thought that passes through your mind, or everything that we see in the media, on the news, on the social media, in conversation with people. We should be learning to look with deeply inquisitive minds for the nature of the universe, for the truth, for the logical progressions of statements, to be able to listen with that intuitive mind, with the spirit of the living God that's listening and seeing through our eyes. Let us use that to begin to divine the truth of things. Because we have brilliant mental capacity, and we know truth when we see it. And yet we're living in a world, or in a reality where truth is getting harder and harder to see, because there are so many so-called truths being thrown out into the universe that it can be startling and overwhelming and hard to decipher what's what. And we've often said in Science of Mind that what we call fear, that fear is false evidence appearing real. That we are living in a world of so much false evidence, so much false truth, so much distorted reality, that it's hard to tell what's what. And so it's very common for most of us, many of us, to be becoming overwhelmed, becoming fearful about the future, about society, about COVID, about the whatever's happening around us. There's so much to fear. And yet fear is also part of that intuitive and instinctual reasoning that is wired into who and what we are as living beings. Fear is a power that keeps us alive. Fear is a power that gives us discernment. But when we're overwhelmed by fear, we can't think clearly. We can't discern. And so we're in this strange place where I'm saying that we have to learn to be looking absolutely clearly at what is in front of us, and yet be skeptical of what you're thinking and what you're feeling and what's coming at you, because we have to sift through it, because there's so much fear, there's so much false evidence appearing real, and yet the instinctual nature within us that wants to keep us alive is giving us these fear signals, because there is also actual threats in our environment. There's threats to our well-being. We have COVID. We have these changing times in our society that many people feel like their rights are threatened. Many people feel like their way of living is being threatened. Many people feel like, there's many threats that we perceive in the world. And so already there's this sort of cacophony of feelings, of thoughts and fears and feelings. Oh my, there's so much to be perceived that we have to sift through, and that we have to look through, and we have to figure out how to see clearly, how to choose the reality that we want, how to participate in unfolding through all of this chaos. And that can often bring us to a place of doubt, where we're not sure what we believe anymore, where we're not sure if the dreams that we have are going to be possible, or we're not sure if the world that we envision can really become a reality. And I find for myself oftentimes that it is the doubt and it is the fear that often propels me forward. That perhaps it's like, think of a slingshot, or kind of trying to send something way out into a field in front of us. That in order to get there, we have to pull back. We have to find the resistance. And in that, there's strength. In that, there's propulsion. And so I want to remind us today that perhaps we can begin to think of our fear and our doubt as the way that our intuitive mind, as the way that the spirit of consciousness is pouring through us and allowing us to sift through. Because I often feel that fear is something and doubt is something that sort of nudges us, that sort of pushes us to really look even deeper at an experience or to move further away from an experience. But it's those nudges that allow us to stay on our path. Because the path is actually always right in front of us. The future is always in a state of potential. We are the ones who are choosing and perceiving what is reality in any moment. And so what if we decide that faith is something that is deeper than belief? Because a belief is simply, Abraham Hicks says that a belief is a thought that you keep thinking. You think a thought enough, it gets ingrained in your mind and it becomes a belief. But we can believe something and still not be willing to step fully out into faith. I heard Reverend Edward Vilhune send out a story this week via email where he talks about a tightrope walker walking across the canyon. And there's a crowd watching the tightrope walker. And he walks across the rope and comes back and asks the crowd, "Do you believe that I can walk across this rope?" And they all say yes. And so he grabs a wheelbarrow, and he walks across the tightrope and walks back with the wheelbarrow and says, "Do you believe that I can walk across this with a wheelbarrow?" And they all say, "Yes, we do." And so he asks his assistant, the assistant hops in the wheelbarrow, and he takes his assistant out across the canyon on the tightrope in the wheelbarrow and comes back. And he looks to the audience and says, "Who's next?" And no one raised their hand. That's the difference between belief and faith. That everyone in the crowd believed that the tightrope walker could do this thing. They just saw him do it, and it was validated. They saw it, they knew it, they believed it. But there's an entire step necessary beyond belief in order to get into the wheelbarrow, and that is faith. Dr. King said once that faith is taking the first step onto a staircase that you don't know is there, or something to that effect. I see faith as that moment in Indiana Jones when he's going to the Temple of Doom and he has to step out onto across that canyon, and he has to know that the step is there, that the bridge is there, because it's invisible. But you have to fully believe and place your foot there, even though there seems to be nothing in front of you. And that can bring us back to fear. And that fear can put us in a place of freezing. Because we also teach, as we heard in the quote earlier, as Ernest Holmes says, faith has no opposite. Faith is something that we are engaging in all the time. And it's just a matter of where we're putting it. Because fear is actually an action of faith. If I'm unwilling to place my foot out into that invisible step, then I'm actually saying that I have faith that I will fall if I do so. But if I say that I have faith in the next step rising up to meet me as I move forward, then I will allow myself to continue. And so I want to think of this idea of facing the fear as actually about turning to faith, but using the power of our doubt and our skepticism, the power of our intuitive mind, the power of our thinking connection to the mind of the universe that has the ability to discern truth, to use our skepticism and our doubt to begin to pull apart our fear. That if we start to take the power of skepticism and look at our fears about the world, look at our fears about the other, look at our fears about whatever political party we think is off, look at our fears about where things are going, look at our fears about our own exposure to things that are happening in the world, and we sift through them with our skepticism and our doubt, looking for the deepest sense of truth, and then begin to cultivate a belief that we can then focus our faith into. Because there's so much in front of us to be sifted through, that I actually believe that there's something incredible unfolding in the world. And as much as it looks like chaos, this brings us to the oh my piece of this talk title. Facing the fear, skepticism, doubt, and faith, oh my. As I've been looking out in the world over the last couple months, as I have had the incredible honor and privilege of finally moving through my ministerial panels and all the exams and this whole movement that took me to get to this place, I can't help but stop the awe that continues to wash over me as I look out and see what's happening in the world. I heard myself say on a call earlier this week that I have been in awe of the beautiful chaos that is the world, that is my life right now. You know, we look at the broad arc of COVID that has sort of blanketed the nation, or the planet. Our country and much of the world is in political upheaval. We've had racial tensions and protests and all sorts of unrest happening in the country. Where I live in California, where many of my beloveds live all over the West Coast, we've been affected deeply by fire. Someone dear to me has passed in the last couple weeks and has made their transition. And at any point, I could name all of this and say, wow, there is so much to fear. There is so much to be overwhelmed by. And yet, what I see is radical shift, is total change happening, almost in a magnificent spiral that is out on the global level, into the national level, into my own local level, into my personal life. And then I begin to move through this transition of stepping into this greater yet to be for myself. And what I realized is, what if that's what's happening right now? What if all of the chaos, what if all of the transition, what if all of the breakdown, what if all of the fear, what if all that is up to be explored for us to sift through the power of our mind is actually up for us to be moving through this transitional time, so that we as spiritual living individuals in CSL, as new thought thinkers, as a nation, as a world, as individuals, what if this time is actually about us looking for what do we have deep faith in? Because I realize that I have faith in the evolution of the universe and this idea that God is truly interwoven into every experience. And I've looked from a place of faith that all is truly God, even in all of the destruction and the death and the chaos and the breakdown and the fire and everything that's happening around me. What I see is transformation. What I see is the beautiful chaos that is moving everything so that it may be rearranged and put back together in a new way. What if the world that works for everyone that we've all been calling for decades in CSL, what if it actually takes the moving through of our fears, our doubts, our skepticism, releasing any idea that the power of our thought is not real, that our interaction with reality is not real. We need to remove and sift through and pour into our true belief and idea that there's only one of us here, and that one is God, and that one is unfolding into and through every circumstance, every situation, every life, every event. All is God. And I tell you, my friends, that which has been manifesting in my own life, and when I look from that place, what I see is beautiful chaos. What I see is rearranging. What I see is newness and possibility being brought forth, and all that no longer serves being brought up to be moved away. But we have to see things as they are in order to move them to where they need to be. And so let us move together in this time of transition as we face the fear, use the power of our minds to sift through all that is coming at us, to begin to cultivate an awareness of what we truly have faith in, so that we can be in the awe of all that is unfolding around us and say, "Oh my God is all that there is." And so take a deep breath in, if you will, and let us move into a space of just simply together remembering once again that God is all there is. That there is one seamless presence that is living and breathing throughout the entirety of the universe, and it is unfolding in everyone and everything, everywhen and everywhere, God and only God. And so here in this moment, I recognize that it is that presence that is speaking through me. It is this presence that is hearing these words. It is this presence that is the medium through which all of this happens. That every single one of us is breathed by God, that it is the spirit of consciousness itself which is intuiting and discerning through our minds in every moment. And so let us together sift through all that there is for us to see, for us to fear, for us to question, for us to doubt. Let us move through it all together in dialogue and conversation and in process and in deep contemplation, so that we may rise to a place of knowing what we deeply know and claim what we have faith in, so that we may take that step into the unknown, so that each of us may move forward into the unseen with awe and with understanding that there is only one thing happening, and the more we participate in it, the more it happens, and the more it reveals itself, the more we see it, the more it feeds back in through this loop of understanding and becomes all that we experience. And so I am grateful to remember that there is a divine truth that surpasses all human circumstance, that can bring me to a place of peace and understanding almost beyond comprehension, but is truly available to any of us should we be willing to rest in this awareness that there is a power for good in the universe that is greater than we are, that is always moving through all things. And so let us be in its participation as we unfold moment by moment. And so it is. Thank you, friends.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What a beautiful and hopeful message. I think it's something we all need to hear right now. So thank you for sharing.
I'm grateful to be here again, as always.
So I just want to remind and thank people who are continuing to give consciously to the center. We know that this isn't going to last forever and that we'll be together soon, but in the meantime, we still have to pay the bills and do everything that we have to do to keep this center whole and healthy. So there are many ways, as you can see on the screen, to give. You can text, you can give online, and you can also snail mail us. We'll be happy to take whichever direction you choose. So, but thank you for your continued support. We are so grateful to have that. So I want to remind you that we're having a virtual fellowship at noon after the service, and the link is on the newsletter. And I think Marina set something out on Facebook as well on that link, so that you can join us. It's a chance just to kind of see each other, see faces. That has been such a long time since we've had the opportunity to meet in person and to catch up and to check out what's happening, and also discuss the message that was so important today, and give some feedback perhaps. So we hope you'll join us. A reminder of the community care circle, they're still meeting, so we can't care for any congregants in person, but if there's something that you need, if you need prayers, if you need calls, if we can check up on you, please call either go to Facebook and leave us a message or call the number that you see on the screen. Prayer requests, our practitioners are always available for prayer, whether it's something good you want to continue or something that you're struggling with in these worrisome times. Please let us know what we can do to help. It's exciting. Sue Fulmer, one of our core council members, is going to start a virtual book club. And it starts this Wednesday. It's going to go for approximately 10 weeks. It's called The Book of Soul by Mark Nepo. It's amazing to me because I ordered the book on Friday and it came on Saturday. It's just, Amazon is just such a wonderful, wonderful technology that you can get something in less than 24 hours. So please join us. I think it will be exciting. It will be thought-provoking, and I so look forward to that. So we're going to do the closing affirmation, and each one of us are going to take just a different sentence and read through. But I hope at home or wherever you are, you'll join us and read this wonderful affirmation with us. So something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all that I do.
I am it, I embrace it, and I share it just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is becoming. Thank you, life.
Well, thank you again for joining us in beautiful St. George. We hope you'll join us next week. Our special guest speaker is Reverend Kathleen Shipley. So we'll continue. Do you have faith, or are you had by faith? So please join us. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Go out in nature and enjoy this beautiful weather. Namaste.